All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is about time for White Sox baseball here on Plainfield TV. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, the WFSY auto test and the start of the Mountain Time Zone. Alright, and there we go, folks. The Mountain Time Zone is now underway. And yes, of course, they did get the Chicago test along with a lot of the other ones that we will be explaining a little later on, but for right now, we're going to wait for some of the other ones to go. So, throughout this period, we're still... So I'm watching the John Logger throughout this period. So some postponements I've noticed. As far as I know, I didn't hear San Angelo test. Austin didn't test either. So I'm going to assume that both have postponed their tests because of the potential for severe weather later today. But as I know right now, those are the only two offices who have postponed their weekly. Those are the only two. The other ones have went. Even Amarillo, who's still tested in a slight risk. I guess they're like Sterling. They like to test in any kind of risk, no matter how severe it is. I'm sure a lot of people are confused now by that. I'll show you the setup. So there's Topeka. So that's Topeka right there. That's Missoula. That will go about 13 minutes. Yeah, because I know their pattern. Salt Lake City. And then of course right there, that's Rapid City. That's Riverton, and that's Pendleton. There goes Salt Lake City. By the National Weather Service every Wednesday between 11 a.m. and noon. When there is a threat of or existing severe weather in the area on Wednesday, the test is postponed until the next good weather day. Weekly test of the new weather radio warms alarm. WXL63 tests of the signal and your receiver's performance are normally conducted by the National Weather Service between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on each Wednesday. If there is a threat of severe weather, the test will be postponed until the next available good weather day. Reception of this broadcast, and especially the one alarm, will vary in any given location. Variability can occur even though you are using a good quality receiver. That is in good working order. We now return to our regular programming. The use for weather warnings and emergency We are already halfway done. We're only 10 minutes in, and half of them are done already. So Salt Lake City and Riverton can go off of this because I thought they weren't going to test because of the severe weather potential. So it looks like already the final results. So the final offices that will be going with us to the next day will be, actually I think we can go ahead and screen record the remaining tests. I don't think there's too much left, so yeah, I think that's what we'll do at this point because there isn't really too much left. Chance of precipitation is 20% today and tonight and 60% Thursday. Forecast for the Belarus and Sapphire Mountains. For today, partly sunny. Chance of rain early in the morning. We'll screen record the remaining tests. So, Pendleton, we move over to the iPhone. High is 55 to 65. I'll go ahead and get Missoula ready for the Illinois.org. Mostly cloudy with chance of rain showers and slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows 40 to 46. North winds up to 10 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation 50%. And for Thursday, mostly cloudy. Grand Junction's going. Chance of rain in the morning, then rain showers and chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. High is 52 to 62. North winds up to 10 miles an hour. This is a test of the public warning alarm system. This is only a test. The warnings are issued by the National Weather Service in Grand Junction. The warning alarm system will automatically activate weather radio equipped with this tone alert feature. Tests of these weather radio receivers and the warning alarm system are conducted by the National Weather Service in Grand Junction every Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. An exception will be made if severe weather threats or is forecast to occur in the broadcast area on the day of the test. When this happens, the test will be performed on the next available good weather day. The warning alarm tone will be activated for hazardous watches and warnings for the following counties in western Colorado: Mesa, Garfield, Delta, Montrose, Eagle, Pitkin, Gunnison, Ouray, San Juan, La Plata, Archuleta, Moffett, Routt, Montezuma, Dolores, San Miguel, Grand, Jackson, and Summit, in eastern Utah, Uinta, Grand, San Juan, Duchesne, and Emery counties, in northwestern New Mexico, Rio, Arriba, and San Juan counties. Once again, the National Weather Service has just conducted a test of the public warning alarm system. We now return to our normal broadcast cycle. All right, we are down to two. So, as of now, we are down to two. All right, we are down to two, and in just a moment, we will be down to one. Just Riverton. Well, not Riverton because they already went. I meant to say Pendleton. We'll be down to just Pendleton after Missoula. So that is all we will be down to after this. And here it goes now.
This is the National Weather Service Office in Missoula. The preceding signal was a test of the weather radio station was XL25's public warning system. During potentially dangerous weather situations, specially dome receivers can be automatically activated by the signal to warn of the impending hazard. Tests of the signal and receiver's performance are normally conducted by the National Weather Service between 11 a.m. and noon each Wednesday. If there is a threat of severe weather, the test will be postponed to the next available good weather day. Reception of this broadcast, and especially the warning alarm, will vary at any given location. This variability, normally more noticeable at greater distances from the transmitter, can occur even though you are using a good quality receiver in good working order. To provide the most consistent and dependable warning service possible, the warning alarm will be activated for hazardous watches and warnings for the following counties: Missoula, Lake and River Valley. This has been a test of the NOAA radio warning device. We now return to normal programming.
And look at that, we get Riverton right after. So we can find our game. Here it is. And just like that, already through the first quarter of the Mountain Time Zone, everything is done. However, not everything. I'm saying not everything, however, just yet. Because we still have to get the Albuquerque test, which we will in about 15 or so minutes. While we have the time, let's go ahead and take care of today's Wordle. And then and then about 15 minutes or so, we'll get ready for Albuquerque. Oh yeah, I like how they included the Bad Boys song. Okay, that's not helping. It was utter. Okay, we're in the second inning now. Now, before we go through all of the things that I've gotten so far, and yes, there is actually some good news on this one. And see, there's the Pendleton test. Let me put it back on WGON's mess and WR for later. So that's everything in the mountain zone right now. Here, I'll just put it on here in case any other iPods things. Now, of course, so I got Air 1 recording. They're on day 5 right now. K-Love just crossed the day 3 mark. So I'm going to wait for Air 1 to test before I switch it over to K-Love, and I'll start recording that. See, the Zone Guard still has the weekly test, of course, because the North Indiana likes to do 6-hour events for whatever reason. And then, of course, over here, the WR120. Of course, Chicago does their usual 15 minutes. And at least they improved from last week. Yeah, right before all this started, I had some pudding and threw it in with a little bit of vanilla wafers, and those are good. And then, of course, here's the 996 still scrolling the weekly test. Again, that was on the port. So it happened at 10:37. It's at 10:37. I believe it just went to 10:38 at the time this received it. But yeah, 10:37 was when Northern Indiana happened. Back in here, the WR300 took the test perfectly. Well, the WR300, of course. Alright, so that's the result radio-wise. Now let's talk about how everything else played out last night. So
WBZB, WFGS, and WNBS.
So I got the WBZB, FGS, NBS auto test. And then that one test we had been waiting for all week, it came right after one of those IDs.
You're listening to the BBC on WMRA.
Let's try it again, this time zoom it in on the logo.
You're listening to the BBC on WMRA, and it's now time for our weekly test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
And in this time, they actually made some significant changes. So according to I know a lot of them are inaccurate, but yeah. This is where a separate message was. However, this time they actually took it out. They actually removed that message. And then, what about HCP? Unfortunately, for some reason, they did not test. I think it was at one station. Yeah, because usually they monitor another station. So that's the first time. If it keeps happening 2 more times, then that station's going off the list. But here is some good news, however. I was finally able to get all of the Verizon tests. Well, not all of them, because I forgot about this one that occurs at like 2:01 a.m. Speaking of which, let me go back on the log and get that and update it. Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000. And I don't think let's see, I gotta go back up to the top. Here we go. Alright, there we go. Took care of that, Verizon. Let me close Riverton. Turn this down. Okay. I'll go back up to the top and add it in. That's right. Now, let me go back over to the local again. Because this time, I actually managed to get all of the Verizon. Well, all but one. So, all but one Verizon, I was actually able to get them. Now, I believe that these Verizons actually have some kind of pattern. So, they can go anywhere within the hour. So, they can go anytime within the 2 o'clock hour. In fact, there were a few that actually went past that time. So, pretty much I'm going to announce some of those changes that I'll need to make next time for next week when we do this all over again. So HCP, if they still test, then, well, if they test next week, then I'll head over to this Verizon and get that test. And then I will pull up the other 5 Verizons. But here was something interesting. Previously, when I was initially debuting this, I was unable to play them on my desktop computer. But for some reason, I can actually play them on my laptop. I don't know why that is. I find that kind of interesting. And then Verizon-wise, I actually had to wait half an hour. I had to wait half an hour to finally see a Verizon test. This Calvert, Charles, and St. Mary's, 4004 went first. 10 minutes after that, the Cecil Hartford one at that 242. That one, 4005, that went second. Somebody just tested. Wait, what was that announcement?
New 2023 Toyota Corolla.
Okay, I thought it said, like, this is a test emergency alert system or something like that. I thought that's what it said. Okay, where were we at? That was yesterday. Oh, MPB tested at 12:27. I almost forgot. Here's where we were. And then 10 minutes after that, this Spotsylvania Fredericksburg Verizon. And then 10 minutes after that, DC does their Verizon. And then 10 minutes later, the other Verizon. So I think all of these went at like 10-minute intervals, which I find kind of weird. And then BAL ran their test at 6:55 this morning. And then we'll talk about the DC monthly test when we get there. We're gonna get set for Albuquerque. I'm gonna have to go through Broadcastify on here. This is something we haven't done in a long time, so we're gonna go ahead and Farmington. See if it works. It does. Alright. Now let's go back on my stream and get that test. See if I can locate it. Here it is.
tested.
Cows, fair, temperature 64.
Okay, there we go.
Fair, temperature 74. Santa Fe, fair, 71.
For whatever reason, now I can't seem to get enough of that bad boy.
Temperature 86.
I think that's their newest commercial.
In Farmington, fair and the temperature
We're going to do both of them.
degrees. Wind southeast 3 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah, we can wait out the ad. And while we do so, I'll talk about some of the remaining tests that will be happening over the course of these next few hours while we wait for Albuquerque to go. And that DC Monthly, I will talk about when we get there. But let me tell you, WTOP actually pulled a big fail. Well, how? Well, we'll explain. Well, we will explain when we get back to explaining all the tests and everything else from earlier today. The city of Countryside. Up there they go. There they go.
Warning device. Following the alarm tone, your receiver should have turned on automatically. The alarm tone just transmitted should have been heard on any operating receiver. The alarm tone will be used to alert you in times of threatening weather. It will be followed by a watch, warning, or emergency message. This test will be conducted each Wednesday between 11 a.m. and noon, except when hazardous weather threatens. The test will then be postponed until the first fair weather day. Once again, this has been a test of the NOAA Weather Radio warning device. We now return to normal programming. What? Flows will be higher than usual and may overtop the bank in low-lying areas.
All right, there is that. All right, so there is that. I'm sure Nani's been waiting this whole time. Alright, there we go. I'll get this set for later. Now let's go back over here and continue with what we were discussing just now. So here's where we were at, right? We were discussing all the Verizons. You can see I had them all going. Now, at the point where we were down to just DC and that all of Maryland, I decided why not I just go ahead and screen record the last two Verizons. I don't know if that will be the same story next week. So then I got that one other station, and this time I got all the Green Bay, Wisconsin other stations. Now I decided to try WLGE The Lodge, because I think the last time I tried it, their weekly never ran. And then I think I must have seemed to have forgotten about it ever since. So I left it running at 3.5, and they, of course, ran their test. And then, of course, WPRO as usual. Now, I don't think I was paying too close attention to KALT, but I don't think NRP, YPR, or YCT tested, so we will check on those tonight. I mean, we're getting down to the wire here. I mean, we're already getting down to the wire in terms of these weeklies here. MRA is already done. YPR, YCT, or NRP, all three have still not ran their test. Air 1 still hasn't ran theirs yet either. They got to do so sometime today, because this is day 5. This is their last day to be considered on time, because this is the latest they can test. If they test on day 6, it'll be considered late. because then we're going to go over to K-Love for day 4, starting at midnight tonight. Unless everyone tests, if everyone tests today, then I'd be more than happy to move it over to K-Love, and then we'll advance from there.
SPC Albemarle.
And then, of course, the good old WSPC Albemarle, the KWRE sign-on. Now, interestingly enough, I was surprisingly awake. You know, at the 5:25 mark, I was expecting the Flutter Realm when I realized that I had already turned it off. So, yeah, I mean, I've already turned it off for Monday, so I didn't need to worry. Now, I was actually awake enough to actually get the KLOS and KLI tests, but this is unusual. I was the only one on this receiver. Southwest California alerts and LAEAS are usually supposed to be on there. I'm sure LAEAS will be on the LA receiver for those weeklies later on once he starts that stream. So anyway, I got those tests. I probably should cut this piece off before we continue. And then after this moment, this is where things start getting weird. Well, of course, there was nothing between 6 a.m. Well, there were maybe just a few warnings and such, but there wasn't much. WJAS failed again. The second time in a row they failed at the 8:05 time slot. WIL also failed. They played the same clip and did the exact same sequence from last week. I even said that this is a test pre-roll after the Today's Variety I-94, and it just went right to a commercial. So, if that goes for a third week, I don't know what is going on with them. I mean, that's all I know, because they usually test during the Tom Stryker morning show. So I don't get it. WMOH, on the other hand, tested early, like a minute or so early, and I only got the ending headers by that point. The CRTV auto test, the Wednesday morning test, I should consider setting that up. The Mobile test, and then Jacksonville, even in a marginal. This is everything else. I went back on everything. All right. So that's everything up to this, well, up to that point. Because now, let's talk the DC, Now let's talk the DC monthly test.
This is a test of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Operational Area Emergency Alert System.
So there's that. They send out the headers as usual.
This is a coordinated monthly test of broadcast and cable stations in your area. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. If there's been an actual emergency, official messages will follow this alert tone. This concludes our test of the emergency alert system.
They put the message after the headers. They put the message after the headers. That explains how inconsistent WTOP sometimes is with these. Alright, and then the beginning of the Eastern Time Zone. Starting with Buffalo, and that's a 27-second video that represents a whole lot of nothing. That's the Albany Weekly. That's Jackson, Kentucky. And then this 5-minute clip features Grand Rapids. Among many other things. And then look who decides to test on a Wednesday rather than a Yeah, rather than a Thursday like WRVA usually does, they decided to run it on a Wednesday. That is so unusual. And I actually recall rotating that image before I started the editing process. There we go. That test was Indianapolis. Now, I did actually try for WVHL. Unfortunately, their test never happened, so they're done for. There's Paducah running their 1050 only test. They actually ran their, they did actually run it correctly once Northern Indiana did theirs. So yeah, that was once Northern Indiana ran theirs.
During periods of potentially severe weather, special receivers are activated to warn of the impending hazard.
And then that's Tallahassee. Here is Grand Forks. Then this is...
This is only a test.
There's WPOZ. And I was playing that one IPOS test afterward. Here's the start of the Central Time Zone. I actually restarted this recording at the most perfect time possible. And then here is the... Oh, hey, Dimitri. You're just in time, because we have about 15 minutes before Chanhassen runs their test. I was playing around with the EMF pre-rolls. And then this random Nevada iPods test. And then here is the start of the Mountain Time Zone. And there's DDG that caught me off guard. I'm surprised John is actually monitoring them again, because it's been a while since he was monitoring their test. It's tested. Here again, I'll zoom out so none of the graphics are present. Here's Missoula. This is Grand Junction. This is Salt Lake City. So, alright, so that is everything that we have so far. Alright, so that's everything that we have so far. So, that is everything that we have so far up to this point. Now we gotta get ready for Chanhassen and pretty much all the other stuff. And meanwhile, I see LEAS just went live. Let's go through some of the. So Rammer STI is still streaming. Still streaming the Wilmington test. I was on his stream when it happened. Super Mario caught the fail. He even managed to DX it. And then Northeast Illinois, of course, got the Chanhassen. SPC Tennessee is finally back to getting tests. He only got the first portion of it. And then EAS Mississippi got the Jackson Weekly. However, his 521 and WR100 both failed. Barnstable got the Boston Weekly, which happened late. He got it on Hartford as well. East Melbourne uploaded his compilation of all the severe weather alerts. Alright, so now over on my other account it's the same story. Except there are today's Inside Edition stories, some from yesterday. Malachi Smith got the I just discovered Northern Illinois EAS. Oh, look at that. I just found Gage. His office still tested even though there was a flash flood warning in effect. Yeah. Crazy. Landon got the Birmingham test. And of course, we will get it again this Saturday. There was that Alex Ilger uploaded some footage from Roblox, then the Chicago test. Benji Cat got the Chicago test. So he's back in McHenry County. So he's still trying to get all situated at wherever he is. So of course you got KW 39, Chicago, DeKalb, Rockford, and Crystal Lake. North Carolina got EAS got the Raleigh test. GoPJ must have gotten the Corpus Christi test, which was a live voice. Yep, that's Corpus. That is Corpus Christi. Unfortunately, KHB41 was off the air. Northern OHWX got the MG kit. You got the MD319 rebrand. Well, usually I peel the cover right off, that little plastic wrap. And then there's the Mount Holly test, which happened right at 11:30. And then Charlotte EAS got the Greenville test on the 2 usual stations. And there's that WHLH that I still want to know. Well, I'll actually get it set up a little later. I'll get it set up once we're done with all of the weeklies here. So, Daily Drive Tours posted another driving video, starting out in Noah's Park, going through Brookfield, Lyons, and Riverside. Alright, so that's everything on the other account. But right now we have to get ready for the Pacific, and of course we have a lot of preparations. So I'm gonna put Los Angeles on the iPhone. Let me see if I can play Sacramento. Yes, I can play Sacramento on the iPad. That's nice. Monterey will be on the Mini 4 as usual. Okay. Alright, so let's get it ready. So the Twin Cities. Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon. Calgary's offline. That's not good. Alright, and then I'll pull up my playlist. And this one will pull up Boise. Now, John actually monitors everything from the Pacific, so that's great. So, Reno, Nevada. Fernley, Nevada. Contra Costa, CA does not work. Fresno also does not work. We're going to put Monterey Marine on here. Sacramento we know works. San Luis Obispo does not. Santa Barbara does. I'll update the link for Daytona Beach because so I think that's all of California. And then we need Phoenix. Now this is the only station that John does not monitor, so I'm going to pull that up separately. And then I need the global receivers. LAEAS's receiver here. And then Mount Lemon. And then I'll tune this to channel 5, which is... Tune that to channel 5, which is Globe, Miami, Arizona. And then here is the LAEAS live stream, the weekly test show. So go ahead and lower that down to the side of the screen. What's missing? The Phoenix receiver. Might not be here. Might be on a... Might have been from an older up... Yeah, because I think this is all from an older update. So it might not be on here. It might not be on here, but you know what? That's okay. You know what? You know what? That's alright. I don't care. You know what? I don't care at all. I am fine with it. That was a news story, by the way, as I was getting all this ready here. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care what happens. Alright, so now we have some final pieces. WPAP, which is the next auto test that we have. And finally, I'm going to set up WGPA, which will be the test that will happen immediately after. So we'll get GPA on here. I'll go and close that menu out because we will not need it after this. We're going to go ahead and mute GPA for the time being. I'll lower down the game. Put the John log on. Oh, Swanee River to Apalachicola. Oh, geez. I didn't expect it to get going this early. I did not expect it to start this early. That's something. Well, I'll play that as well. Well, you know what? That's okay. I'll play, I will, okay. Alright, well, let me go ahead and update the score to the 4th inning. Okay, we are ready. severe weather like this year. It's been a long time since we've heard from him. Alright.
It's 79 degrees.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
We are down to, I guess, 4 now already. Let me actually look this up. So, San Francisco, Sacramento, and Los Angeles. Yeah, we're down to just northern, central, and southern California. Northern, central, and southern California are the only 2 areas remaining.
chance of showers in the morning, then chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. And the temperature was 68 to 73. Winds to northwest, winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Instead, the temperature was following is the recreational forecast for Lake Tahoe, 6 miles an hour. Today, sunny in the morning, then mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon was 66. Light winds becoming west up to 10 miles an hour in the afternoon. And highs low to 65. Waves less than 1 foot. Winds will north tonight at 7 miles an hour with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Then clear after midnight northwest at 12 miles an hour. Lower 34 to 44. Waves less than 1 foot. Until Thursday, partly cloudy in the morning, 20 showers and thunderstorms likely in the afternoon. Once again, every light 70 degrees under most highs around 64. Along wave heights less than 1 foot. California to the coast. This is NOAA Radio WSK 58 area and 66. Operated by the National Weather Service and broadcasting from Slight Mountain on a frequency of 162.55 megahertz. It was cloudy. Here are the 11 a.m. observations. At Reno, it was mostly sunny along Highway 3. The temperature was 70 degrees with 49 South Lake. 32%. At Mammoth, it was 29.92 inches and falling. And Carson City, the temperature was 70 This is a test of the NOAA Weather Radio warning alarm and EAS signals. These signals are used to activate specially designed receivers when warnings or selected watches are issued for potentially dangerous weather situations. Miles an hour. Tests of these receivers are normally conducted each Wednesday between the hours of 11 a.m. and 12 noon. Was 66. If any warnings or watches are in effect or threatening weather is possible, the test will be postponed until the first good weather day. Again, this has been a test of the NOAA Weather Radio warning alarm and EAS signal. We now return to the regular broadcast cycle. West at 12 miles an hour. Release. It was mostly sunny. Walker downstream. The temperature was 67. Steady state around 4 feet through the wind. Pressure was 29.94.
And we are down to just Los Angeles.
Reno was 70 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Rural areas of along Interstate County and across central California to the coast. It was sunny with a temperature of 60 at Blue Canyon and 66 at Sacramento. Turn around at Truckee. It was mostly sunny with a temperature of 61. Flood deaths occurred in San Francisco. It was cloudy with a temperature of 58. It is harder to recognize the eastern Sierra and south along Highway 395. Following it was sunny with a temperature of 59 at South Lake Tahoe and 76 at Bishop. The area of lakes, it was fair with a temperature of 65. The hazardous flood advisory for upstream reservoir releases is now in effect until 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time Friday. Minor flooding caused by upstream and release continues along the East Walker River, the Arrington area. The areas affected included a portion of western Nevada, including the following counties: Lyons and Mason, and Arrington. Hazardous weather conditions are expected until 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time Friday. And yards in mixed impacts. Minor flooding is expected to impact East Walker Road and other low-lying areas. River flows are expected to remain elevated until further notice. Maximum river state additional details ending at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Flooding will result in an advisory area from an upstream dam floodgate really expected to remain most flows along the East Walker downstream of Bridgeport should remain mostly steady state around 9.4 feet through the week with slight fluctuations due to rainfall if the basin compares to a previous. Some locations that will experience flooding include mainly rural areas of southern Lyon County. www.weather.gov/safety/motorists flood turnaround. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads through flooded areas. Most of flood deaths occur in vehicles when walking near riverbanks. Especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Feet and a depth of 2 feet following his river statement. Never try to lose their flood level caused by snowmelt continues water. The areas affected include Fort Carson River near Gardenville. Another way, the hazardous weather conditions are expected until early Wednesday afternoon. NRSE impacts at 14.0 feet. Minor flood by 3 p.m. Pacific. Minor land flooding in Carson 73 degrees. Sunday through Tuesday, mostly clear. Lows dropping to 59. High 73 degrees. You're listening to your Weather Radio WXM30, broadcasting on a frequency of 160.40 megahertz Mount Lemon. The current time is 11:22 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You're listening to your Weather Radio WXM30, broadcasting on a frequency of 160.40 megahertz Mount Lemon. The 11 a.m. observation at Chicago National Airport was sunny. The temperature was 87 degrees. Dew point was 25, and the relative humidity 10%. The wind was held at 14 miles per hour, gusting to 21. The pressure was 28.96 inches and falling. The forecast: Sun metro area, Green Valley and Marana, 21 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Sunny. Highs in the 56. Southwest 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, clear. Lows 57 to 63. Southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, coming south after midnight. Thursday, sunny. Highs 51 to 57. South wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear. Lows 57 to 63. Southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, coming south after midnight. Friday, sunny. Highs 91 to 97. South wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, increasing to southwest 15 to 25 miles per hour in the afternoon. Friday night, clear. Lows 58 to 63. Mostly sunny. Highs 92 to 98. Saturday night, mostly clear. Lows 57 to 63. Sunday, sunny. Highs 91 to 97. Sunday night through Tuesday, mostly clear. Lows 57 to 63. Highs 96. The 11 a.m. Sun International Airport was sunny. The temperature was 87 degrees. The dew point was 25, and the relative humidity 10%. The wind was down at 14 miles per hour, gusting to 21. The pressure was 28.96 inches and falling. At Davis Martin Airport, it was sunny and the temperature was 85 degrees. The wind was calm. It was sunny and the temperature was 81 degrees. The wind was southwest at 12 miles an hour.
And there we go. We had Tucson and LA both at the same time. And that is the end, ladies and gentlemen, of the Pacific time zone. For now. We got Las Vegas coming up here in about 20 minutes. Alright. Okay. Now let me update the compilation even further to now include the beginning of the Pacific time zone. I like this part. The following is a test of emergency alert system. It's like all slowed down. Okay. Somebody is running a monthly test. I don't know who it is. Somebody is running a monthly test. Okay, that was not part of the plan. I don't know who ran that monthly test. Oh, I see. CIE ran a weekly. Even though the Florida monthly was yesterday. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of things we can go back on. Here's where we're at. Oh, this is perfect. We can go back on everything. We're going to do KLT because for some reason John does not want to... An unknown error has occurred. An unknown error has occurred. Receiving from Acorn. Receiving the same monthly test from an Acorn. Oh, whatever. Whatever. We're gonna go back on everything. And we're gonna start here. Actually, I'm gonna need to go back and try that again. We're gonna try that again. This time we're gonna start here. Alright, that's our catch-up point. Now let me continue from where we were at. Sacramento. Here's the second one that also included San Francisco. The camera rotated. And they're calling it Easy Street. Alright, so now that all of the tests are done, I'll go ahead and actually now start up all the usual things. Hi, Nani. And now since today is a Wednesday, we start Elkhart. We do Elkhart, Indiana. We do the East. There we are. Let me find my playlist and start that. Shuffle all items. Yeah, I'd like to start with tic-tac-toe. Let's not do Sail the Century. Let's do something different. Oh, cool. Season 1 episode of Press Your Luck. Sure. From Television City in Hollywood, it's time to press your luck. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's so much fun. Okay. So, that is the end of the Pacific time zone for the time being. We have about 10 minutes until Las Vegas. So, I might as well get that receiver pulled up. I will refresh it so that we can get all the correct details. Now, there was a
The Doritos Cool Ranch Pop.
so yeah, we had that Typhoon Mawar actually took a direct hit on Guam, which is why there were all those typhoon warnings, and the entire island is actually under a flash flood warning from all that rain that came through. As of right now, so yeah, and throughout that storm, gusts of up to 105 miles an hour were reported. Now, it is, as of right now, Wednesday night in Guam. Only 1,000 of the island's, now only 1,000 of the 52,000 businesses and homes on the island are, the power there is still on. However, the rest of the island is without power. Yeah, it's a Category 4. So that was a, I could call it a typhoon, but yeah, it is technically called a typhoon. But it was under a Category 4 hurricane, which was quite an impressive one at that. Looks like this slight risk won't be happening till later tonight. So, it looks like we will have some weekly test freedom for right now. Continuing through the list, Gateway got the star as the Corpus test. And then Gage got the flash flood warning, and then the weekly, which was still ran.
Data management can be costly and complicated, so we built Slingshot to help Snowflake users manage costs.
Oh yeah, this Tampa preview. I like this one. I really like this one. This sounds great.
With fudge, chocolate, and brownie, we're calling this one the fudge chocolate brownie and Jimmy John's.
And then the compilation of that red bird. 4 hours of that bird. It's all that red bird. Sorry, that red bird is becoming. Yeah, I don't know why, but that red bird is becoming very famous. Netflix subscription's gone wrong. So, yep, the bottom half of the inning. Yeah, and I've been, and before that though, I've been having a little fun watching the bird with the home automation. Yeah, it's that bird with all the home automation and stuff. That's too much fun. All right.
Highs near 90. Tonight, mostly off Charleston, around 83 at Red Rock. South winds to around 30 miles per hour. In the evening, becoming light. Waves 1 to 1.5 feet. Lows near 70. Thursday, sunny.
All right.
Winds around 10
It's
miles
time
per
for the
hour
Las
in the
Vegas
evening to
Weekly.
around 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Waves 1 to 2 feet.
No, we have Seattle after this, and then that's the end of the first half.
Thursday night, mostly clear. South winds 10 to 15 miles per
And
hour.
after that, that's the end of the first half.
30 miles per hour in the evening. Waves 1 to 1.5 feet. Lows near This is a test of the emergency alert system from the National Forecast Office in Las Vegas, Nevada. This system is provide warning and will make urgent and an actual emergency. You would receive information. Concludes the week's test of the Nevada emergency alert system. Forecast.
I don't think it does too well on mobile, but oh well.
Automatically wakes up in
Oh yeah, all those weird home automations you could program with an Amazon Alexa. Alright, so since the White Sox lead, we will have a bottom of the ninth, and then after that, that is the end. Now, folks, it is time to get set for the finale.
Projected on the side of a mountain. Discover a new favorite restaurant. Your campsite. Find yourself.
I'm not liking the signal quality already. I am not liking the signal quality already. I am not liking the signal quality already. So this is it, folks. This is going to be the end of the first portion of the weekly test for today. We'll have another section of such later this evening. So following the Seattle test, this will commence as always a 2-hour break. So pretty much there won't be any NWR tests. However, we are going to have a few AM/FM auto tests in between. You know, the usual Yellowstone Public Radio, Montana Public Radio, WJON, and WPSU if they even want to run it on Wednesdays at 3:34 like they should. All right, here we go. All right. And that is it. That is a wrap, folks. The main section of the tests are done. Summer. Yeah. Alright. And that is a wrap. That's a wrap, folks. The main section of the tests are done. Well, it took Austin until 1:13 to finally release the statement. The statement we have been waiting for. Across the hill country, the weekly radio test that had been scheduled has been postponed. We plan on completing the test on Thursday, which will be tomorrow. I don't see anything from San Angelo, so I'm gonna assume they did the test despite the risk of severe weather. So Austin did the right thing, postpone the weekly. So that means Austin will have their weekly tomorrow. Yeah, they added Tainted Love into the thing, which that's a new music. That's a new instrumental they introduced to the start here. Okay, so here we go. We're in the 9th inning. This is it. So that's everything we have so far. Again, the next actual test we have is the Nevada monthly, which will be in about 2 hours. So there again is the zone guard with the test scroll. Well, the light, I should say, the light, not the scroll. But the scroll is over here. And this is really about the only thing we're going to be streaming tonight. So now I don't know what else I'm going to be doing. Don't even know what else I'll be doing for the rest of today and maybe tomorrow too, because we won't be, because then after, today's game, we start another series at 5:30 tomorrow. That'll be against Detroit. So we're gonna start our backyard baseball game at 4, with our hopes of starting White Sox coverage at that same time. And at that same time, we'd be more than happy to bring you coverage of. If I feel like it, maybe we'll bring you coverage of Classic Concentration during the game. And that's what everyone's playing right now. Been waiting all day for a test from them. So far, nothing. And again, that will be a weekend series. Yay, it's the old-fashioned Gold Rush. It's the Gold Rush Show by NVG Productions. Oh yeah, the bird making Samsung. The Samsung notification. There was another video I was found somewhere. Oh yeah, from the self-checkout collection. I heard the e-bell, and now here comes our first train officially of the day in Elkhart. That sounds like a metro horn. That sounds like a metro horn. Oh yeah, it's that little Norfolk Southern locomotive with its famous little caboose. Oh yeah, the parrot. Oh yeah, the little parrot talking to Alexa. Alexa, all light or. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is quite a weird attempt. That is so strange. I honestly surprised that a parrot entirely knows how to control Alexa or Google Home and basically all other kinds of virtual home automation assistants and such. Like Siri. You can just Siri too, but not too much. Like that bird primarily does Alexa. Alexa, all light on. I'll play that part again. Alexa, all light on. Okay. I was able to recreate the sounds from Alexa. The bird and all those flies. Alright. Here we go. Bottom of the ninth. The White Sox have a okay. Alright, so this is it. We're going into the bottom of the ninth with the score still 6-0. But yeah, I forgot I did actually make a little more revisions to this bridge. So that's the original cantilever. But then I decided to add a dog and a cat. A dog and a cat to both towers of this suspension bridge. You can see the blank. I'll turn it around. Yeah, there you go. You can see the blank side. The entire thing is being held up by tape, like long strings of tape. So it's not. Oh, I better be careful. So it's not pieces of paper like the cantilever, like this cantilever is. Sure, I'll go in complete detail. Yeah, that's the cantilever. This is what it looks like from both sides. It's the Canadian Pacific. whatever else goes through later. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, just wow. Reno still runs their tests, and then they get severe weather. Let's watch it show up. Here's the monthly test card or logo, banner, thumbnail, picture, whatever it is.
In this series, he's done it. That is right.
Yes, indeed.
I want to say, I thought I saw the number maybe 7% of the time he swings at the first pitch.
7% of the time he sees the number. Oh, yeah, there's that little bear.
One strike on Quan.
That bear.
Violation in terms of the pitch timer.
Here's the
7% of the time.
There's the fire truck that's become my most popular thing on the channel.
Every first pitch. If he's swinging only 7% of the time, he's probably
Let's just see what the fire truck does.
that time he's going to only hit it hard. 0-1 is a low curve. 1 ball, 1 strike. But again, nobody does something 100% or 0% of the time. Change up strike. And if you did, this defense
All the time or none of the time, actually, yeah.
should swing it a couple just to let them
That's
know
how it should be considered.
especially in a baseball season because there's so many at bats. Slider is outside. Two balls and a strike. And low. Three and one. Pitch. Strike called. He grabbed that outside corner. He just hit the edge of the strike zone there. So I don't know if that was by design or that ball just ran that much, but that was a perfect pitch. Swing and a blast out into deep right. On the track, it's caught by Frazier. Didn't really get up into the wind, so I thought it might have a chance to get out, but fortunately for Jimmy, it stayed in. Well, he nailed that. I mean, he is not a power hitter. He hit that right on the button. He's got enough power to go out of here, but he's got to get his whole backside in. I thought the 3-2 count, he was really cutting it loose. Rosario swings and misses on a curveball. Interesting because they're trailing by 6. It's the 9th inning and they're swinging at the first pitch. Not thinking about, hey, let's work the count, let's get some base runners. It's all about, hey, first pitch might be the best pitch. Slider strike. It's 0-2. And for Rosario, he swung at one out of the strike zone and took a slider that was hittable. Fastball is high. Just looking at some of the plate discipline numbers on Fangraphs for Stephen Kwan. His swinging strike percentage, there's a bouncer foul. So that is number of strikes. He swings and misses. 3%. Yeah, he's pretty confident taking a strike. That's amazing. Top tier. Yes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Rosario is out. 2 away, and it's Jose Ramirez. He's 0 for 3 outside corner. This series started with a Guardians shutout, 3-0. Sox trying to return the favor today. Outside changeup, 1-1. Lambert has the sign he wants. And the pitch is low and outside on a change. Sox are looking for their third shutout. And their second in 6 days. Swinging a ground ball foul to first. If ever a time you feel you can be aggressive against Ramirez, it's when you're leading 6-0, 2 outs in the ninth, nobody on. You're like, oh, I just go right at him. No matter what he does, it's not going to hurt the game or me. Ramirez swings and misses, and this ball game is over. The White Sox have won 3 consecutive series for the first time this season.
That is very nice.
Beating the Guardians 4 of 6 to start the season series.
That is nice.
Cleveland Sox 6, Guardians nothing on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock.
Go ahead and throw that back onto Air 1. Hopefully they will test later today. I just hope so. Anyway, so the Sox win it 6-0 against the Guardians. They win the series against Cleveland, 2-1. Our next series will start tomorrow. At 5:30 p.m. We're going to start the backyard baseball game at 4, which will be immediately following Jeopardy. So tonight is now I want to talk about a few more things before we go. Again, the Hawaii test 4 as usual. I'm sure you all should know how the order usually goes. The Tampa Weekly at 5, Mobile at 6, Fort Worth. I didn't see Fort Worth go this morning, so maybe they'll go. Maybe they'll go tonight. I didn't see Fort Worth go this morning, so they should go tonight. And if they don't, then I'll add them to the postponed list. But for right now, San Angelo and Austin have postponed their tests. They are expected to make those up tomorrow in the 11 a.m. hour. So we should have both of those made up by tomorrow. So in that respective case, that would be immediately following. That would be immediately after the Virginia IPOS test and the North Central Washington IPOS test. So it's after those, then that test would be made up, however. So that's the way that goes. That's the way that's going to be tomorrow. And then after that, Friday should be free. And then again, I'll be up until Chicago iHeart runs their test, and then I'm off to, and then after that I'll be fast asleep with nothing much to worry about other than potentially missing WDC Weekly, but I'm not sure how it's gonna go. And about Deal or No Deal and Wheel of Fortune, both of those will return next Wednesday. Both of those shows will return. So then we got one more. They've got one more set later on. Again, we have the finale coming up, which again I'll include the KWRE sign off, and then after that, that will be the end of all the tests. CKA will probably come soon after, and then after CKA, then I'm ending the Wednesday compilation. All the remaining severe weather stuff from that night will probably go into a whole separate one. So yeah, that's as far as we are right now in terms of postponed weeklies. And of course, as usual, the next Street View poll will go up at 3 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. So around that, and then at that time, you can start casting your votes for our next Street View video this weekend. Kedzie was actually quite a good Street View video to make, and this is actually the second time that North Country Public Radio has actually offered me some songs that are really good to use on a Street View video. The first one was copyrighted. This one, surprisingly, isn't. So, I'm not sure what the point of that is, but that's interesting. Very, very interesting nonetheless. Again, if anyone's ever interested in getting a EMF test, well, Air 1 is on day 5. They are random, keep that in mind. So, I'm keeping them on. I'm listening for it. I'm waiting. Whenever it does happen, then if I did it all correctly with setting up the recording and everything like that, then you should see a separate upload of the Air 1 test. And I'll probably put it into this weekly test compilation as well. K-Love's Day 4 is tomorrow, so we'll be watching out for their test as well. So for now, that's as far as we will go. The next song just went ahead and started. Alright, so with that said, thank you for joining us here today for White Sox baseball and the second half of the first portion of our weeklies for today. We are going to have section number 2 later tonight again, and then join us tomorrow afternoon as we bring you our weekly edition of Backyard Baseball, and then we cover the opening game of the White Sox and the Tigers from Comerica Park in Detroit. And then Friday will probably be a similar story. Again, the Friday Fun Night Show will return next Friday. Not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. That show will eventually return. So with that said, thank you again for watching. And I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And I will see you again tomorrow for Backyard Baseball. So until then, have a great rest of your day. And we will see you then.